What if I told you that the difference between people who master new skills in months versus those who struggle for years isn't talent, intelligence, or even time available? The secret lies in something far more powerful and completely within your control. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of successful learning, and I'm going to show you the exact mindset shifts that can transform you from a struggling learner into a learning machine. Developing a mindset for successful learning. Let's lay the foundation. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck discovered that people approach learning with either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. This simple distinction shapes everything about how we learn and grow. Fixed mindset learners believe their abilities are set in stone. They think, I'm just not a math person, or I can't learn languages. This belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, holding them back from real growth. Growth mindset learners, on the other hand, see abilities as muscles that can be developed. They say, I'm not good at this yet, and understand that effort leads to improvement. That simple shift changes everything. Developing a growth mindset isn't just about positive thinking, it's about rewiring your brain's response to challenge, failure, and effort. This is the key to unlocking your true potential. Choose to see challenges as opportunities to grow. Adopting a growth mindset is the first step toward becoming a lifelong learner. Your brain is literally rewiring itself every time you learn. This is called neuroplasticity, and understanding it will revolutionize how you approach any new skill. When you struggle with something new, you're not failing, you're building. Every mistake, every moment of confusion, every time you have to really think hard, you're strengthening neural pathways. The struggle is the growth. Research from neuroscientist Dr. Alvaro Pascual Leon shows that mental practice alone can increase muscle strength by 35%. Your brain doesn't distinguish between imagined and real practice. This means visualization isn't just motivational fluff, it's a legitimate learning strategy. This means visualization isn't just motivational fluff, it's a legitimate learning strategy. But here's the game changer. Successful learners understand that confusion and difficulty aren't signs to quit. They're signs that real learning is happening. They've learned to embrace the discomfort zone. When you struggle with something new, you're not failing, you're building. Every mistake, every moment of confusion, every time you have to really think hard, you're strengthening neural pathways. The struggle is the growth. Research from neuroscientist Dr. Alvaro Pascual Leon shows that mental practice alone can increase muscle strength by 35%. Your brain doesn't distinguish between imagined and real practice. This means visualization isn't just motivational fluff, it's a legitimate learning strategy. Now let me share the 4 fundamental pillars that every successful learner has mastered. Master these, and you'll accelerate your learning in any domain. Pillar number 1. Choose curiosity over certainty. Most people approach learning with the goal of being right. Successful learners approach it with the goal of understanding. When you encounter something you don't understand, instead of thinking, this is stupid or this doesn't make sense, train yourself to think, this is interesting, what am I missing? That shift in language creates a shift in neurochemistry. Your brain releases dopamine when you're curious, making learning literally addictive. Here's a practical technique. Every time you feel frustrated with learning material, pause and ask 3 questions. What assumptions am I making? What would I need to believe for this to make sense? What's one small piece I can understand right now? Pillar 2. Focus on process over outcome. This is where most learners sabotage themselves. They fixate on the end result, the grade, the certification, the finished project, and miss the actual learning. Successful learners fall in love with the process. They celebrate small improvements, they track their methods, and they find joy in the daily practice. This isn't just feel-good advice. It's backed by research on intrinsic motivation. When you focus on outcomes, your motivation is fragile. It depends on external validation. But when you focus on process, you become anti-fragile. Every practice session, regardless of the result, strengthens your learning system. Pillar 3. Seek feedback over perfection. Perfectionism is the enemy of learning. It causes you to avoid challenges, hide mistakes, and miss crucial information. Successful learners are feedback addicts. They actively seek out criticism, they test themselves frequently, and they treat mistakes as data, not failures. Each piece of feedback is a gift. It shows you exactly where to focus your attention next. Here's a mindset shift that changed everything for me. Instead of asking, "Am I good enough?" start asking, "What can I learn from this?" That single question will accelerate your growth exponentially. Pillar 4. Understand that effort is the path, not a sign of inadequacy. In our instant gratification culture, we've been conditioned to see effort as evidence that we're not naturally talented. This is backwards. Research consistently shows that deliberate effort, not natural talent, is the primary predictor of expertise. The people who seem naturally gifted are usually just the ones who started practicing earlier or more intensively. Successful learners reframe effort as exciting. When something requires significant effort, they think, "Great, this means I'm about to grow." They've learned that the feeling of strain is the feeling of your brain literally building new capabilities. Now, let me share the 4 fundamental pillars that every successful learner has mastered. Master these, and you'll accelerate your learning in any domain. Master these, and you'll accelerate your learning in any domain. Now let's get practical. Here are 5 specific strategies you can implement immediately to develop this learning mindset. Strategy 1. Celebrate struggle. Every time you encounter difficulty, literally say, "My brain is growing right now." This isn't just positive self-talk, you're training your nervous system to associate challenge with reward instead of threat. Keep a struggle log. Write down one difficult thing you worked on each day and how it made you better. This builds what I call struggle tolerance, your capacity to stay engaged when things get tough. Strategy 2. Create a mistake inventory. At the end of each learning session, write down your 3 biggest mistakes and what each one taught you. This transforms mistakes from sources of shame into sources of insight. Pro tip: rate each mistake on a scale of 1 to 10 for how much it taught you. You'll start looking forward to high-value mistakes because they represent massive learning opportunities. Strategy 3. Develop a curiosity protocol. Whenever you feel frustrated or confused, stop and ask, "What would make this fascinating instead of frustrating?" Then generate 3 possible explanations for what you're experiencing. This technique hijacks your brain's pattern recognition system and turns confusion into a puzzle to solve rather than a problem to avoid. Strategy 4. Track effort, not just results. Create a simple system to measure how much deliberate practice you put in each day. Focus on input metrics like time spent in focused practice, number of challenging problems attempted, or feedback sessions completed. When you track effort consistently, you start to see the direct correlation between your input and your growth. This builds what psychologists call internal locus of control, the belief that your actions determine your outcomes. Strategy 5. Build a growth identity. Instead of saying, "I am bad at this," say, "I am learning this." Instead of, "I can't do this," say, "I can't do this yet." These small language changes literally rewire your self-concept. Create a learning mantra that resonates with you. Mine is, "I grow through challenge." Find yours and repeat it whenever you face difficulty. Your brain will start to believe what you consistently tell it. Now let's get practical. Here are 5 specific strategies you can implement immediately to develop this learning mindset. Let's address the 3 biggest obstacles that derail learning mindset development and exactly how to overcome them. Obstacle 1. The comparison trap. Social media makes it seem like everyone else is learning faster, achieving more, and struggling less. This is an illusion that kills motivation. Remember, you're comparing your internal experience to others' external highlight reels. The person who seems to be learning effortlessly may have failed 100 times before you even started watching. Solution: Compare yourself only to your past self. Keep a learning journal tracking your progress over weeks and months. When you feel discouraged, look back at what you couldn't do 6 months ago that's now easy for you. Obstacle 2. Plateau, panic. Every learner hits periods where progress seems to stall. Most people interpret this as evidence they've reached their limit. They're wrong. Plateaus are periods of consolidation. Your brain is integrating what you've learned and preparing for the next breakthrough. Research shows that most major improvements happen after plateau periods, not during obvious growth phases. Solution: reframe plateaus as proof that breakthrough is coming. Use plateau time to refine fundamentals and explore different approaches. The breakthrough will come if you don't quit. Obstacle 3. Perfectionism paralysis. Perfectionism feels productive because it's focused on high standards, but it actually prevents learning by making you avoid challenges where you might fail. The antidote to perfectionism is what I call strategic sloppiness. Give yourself permission to be bad at something while you're learning it. Set good enough standards that allow you to practice and get feedback quickly. Remember, you can't optimize what doesn't exist. Create first, refine second. Every expert was once a beginner who kept going despite imperfection. Here's what most people don't realize about developing a learning mindset. The benefits compound exponentially over time. Small daily shifts in how you approach challenge and failure create massive differences in long-term outcomes. A person with a growth mindset doesn't just learn individual skills faster, they develop meta-learning skills. They become better at learning how to learn. This creates a virtuous cycle where each new skill becomes easier to acquire than the last. Think about it. If you improve your learning effectiveness by just 1% each day, you'll be 37 times more effective by the end of the year. This isn't just math. It's the reality of compound growth in human capabilities. The person you become through developing this mindset isn't just someone who learns faster. You become someone who thrives on challenge, who sees opportunity in obstacles, and who literally gets excited by the possibility of growth. That's not just a learning advantage, that's a life advantage. So here's your challenge. Choose one of the strategies we covered today and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Don't try to change everything at once. Remember, we're focusing on process over outcome. Whether you're learning a new language, developing technical skills, or mastering any domain, these mindset principles will accelerate your progress, but only if you apply them consistently. Remember, your current limitations are not your permanent reality. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a disaster. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the mindset you bring to the journey. Your brain is the most sophisticated learning machine in the known universe. It's time to start using it like one. If this video helped shift your perspective on learning, hit that like button. It tells me you want more content like this. And if you're ready to transform how you approach any skill or subject, subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our deep dives into the psychology of peak performance. What's one learning challenge you're facing right now? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and your question might become the topic of our next video.